screen, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So
Yes, sir.
this what we discuss under this guy called that. So we also check asynchronous programming. Now this has to do with background in Android. We call it a background thread. You understand? You want to perform some tasks that you don't want it to affect your UI. You understand? You want to perform some async tasks. So we also explore synchronous programming when we talk about future. So there are a lot of things that we discuss under that programming language. So this is the section B of the training, and I told you guys before that it's 3 months, but I don't even know how I can just shuffle things to make it work, and I pray that God should give me the strength to make it work. So after that, the next thing that we talk about is section C, which is flutter tat masterclass. This is section C. Section C, flutter. The first thing we talk about the introduction to flutter, and why are we even using flutter? You know, something that is a question we need to ask ourselves. Why flutter? Why flutter? Why not native? I don't know, maybe you guys have heard of KMM. So why not KMM? Kotlin multi-platform mobile. So why not KMM? Why am I writing code in Flutter? Understand? So why not native? So we need to explore this in detail. Why using that for Flutter? And also check the project structure, how your Flutter project look like. Then we talk about dependency and package. I put this guy here. Okay, we also talk about dependency and packages. You understand? You know, that is what make that Flutter kind of different. You understand? Because you work with dependency, you work with people resources, you work with people packages. So it's what they decide, that what you will consume. You understand? Because without dependency and packaging, you cannot use Flutter. That is just the coins of it. You know, they work with dependency, they work with packages, people packages. So it's what they have coded, what they have written that you will consume. So if they restrict some things, it's not left to you to find your way around it. That is what make native unique compared to Flutter. So another thing that we talk on the widgets. How you can widget now has to do with your UI, how your UI will look like, how you can design some cool nice UI. We discuss that under widget. Then we discuss about some layouts. We discuss all these layouts, how you can align your text, how you can structure your text, and bottom, left, right. So with building layout, we explain how you can manipulate, arrange your widget. So another thing, we also discuss responsive interface. There's some interface that we need that also work with the UI that we discuss under this part. Another thing is you working with teams. You understand how you can make your app stand out, how you can have the light day and dark mode implemented, how you can make your app look nice. You understand? During the day, nice, how you can make it look nice. And another thing that I want to talk about is animation. You know, writing code, or if your app is static, the user might not like it. So the user love some little animation. So we also discuss. Can you please mute yourself? Thank you very much. So we also discuss animations. It's very important. Excuse me. That is what will make your UI look unique. And another point that we also discuss is persisting data. Now this has to do with caching some data on your phone. You understand? Let's assume there's no internet, so and you want to have some copy of your data from server, like a copy of it on your device. So we discussed that under persisting data. So another thing is state management. We also discussed that it's very important how you manage your state is very, very vital. How you manage your state, we discussed that under this. Another point is that I want us to also take note that we also talk on how you can integrate API. You understand? Most company, most organization, they expose their API. How can you consume the API? For instance, if you are building a weather app, you need to consume API. You understand? So there are a lot of organizations that they are exposing their API. So as a front-end developer, as a mobile developer, how can you integrate your API, RESTful API in your code base? So all those thoughts what we discuss during this training. Another point is how can you navigate and routing. You understand? You navigate from one screen to another screen. So navigating and routing is very important. We also discuss under this. So another point is design pattern. I remember then the first hello world I write, there's one project I did then, everything was bundled inside a main activity. We bundle everything inside main activity, and it's not supposed to be. There are some patterns, there are some design pattern that you need to follow. DI, dependency injection, there are a lot of them that we need to that we look into in this training. We try to exploit them, we check them, and observer patterns, adaptive patterns, so a lot of them, builders, so we have a lot of them. So we discuss design pattern under this module, though we might not touch all the design patterns, but we try to touch the recent one and with the one that related to the project per se, or to the training per se. So we explore design pattern. Another point is the architectural pattern. So here now we discuss if we are using for mobile, there is a way Google suggests now, instead of you bundle everything inside main activity, there's a suggestion by Google that we should use MVVM architectural pattern, model VV model architectural pattern. So we also exploring that under this section. Another point is that we talk on Firebase. Yes, a lot of things. There are a lot of products under Firebase. A lot of products under Firebase. We also explore it, how you can send push notification from server, how you can work with real-time database, work with Firestore, work with Crashlytics, and work with authentication, how you can use Firebase to store some data, some files, that is Firebase storage. So under Firebase we have a lot of products that we discuss under this section. Another thing is this: as a developer, how can you debug? We also talk about on this section. We discuss debugging and performance profiling. It's very important. As a developer, you should be able to know how to debug and how to check the performance of your application. So we discuss the performance, debugging, log cards. We discuss all the stuff under debugging and performance profiling. Another point is testing. As a developer, we should be able to write tests to test our code base to see if it is what. If it's passed, we write TDD. We try to write some unit text and instrumentation text. So we under testing, we write some testing to check if our code base work as expected. So another point that we also talk about as a developer, we try to explore some 10 ways to avoid mistake. You understand? As a flutter developer, we explore the 10 ways. Excuse me. to avoid mistakes. And after that, another thing is 10 ways to enhance your app development career suggestion. I will try to share that with you, how you can enhance your app development career, things to do, how to showcase yourself. We discussed that under 10 ways to enhance your app development. So another point that we also explore, we might not go in depth because this training is not native developers, it's not for native development. So I will just try to explain to us how we can work with some native resources. You understand? It's just a basic of native, understand? So I will explain that, and how we can working with native resources, working with camera, working with some sensors. So I will try to touch that under native development, how you can work with your cameras. Yeah, and we use camera, we check some sensors sensor on your phone. So we try to check some native features on your phone. There are some native components that you try to exploit under this training. Another point is machine learning on Flutter. I also talk on we try to exploit ML Kit by Google machine learning kit, where we try to work on QR code, try to extract text from image, try to detect objects, try to work on data sets, trying to build some smart system, try to detect face. So we work on face recognition, face detection. So we work under under machine learning. We try to exploit all those machine learning kits on Flutter. So another point is how you can publish your own package. You understand? Now you're a developer. Hooray, you're a big guy. So how can you also share your knowledge? How can you build your packages and publish it on there is a platform for that by Google, where you can publish your package. You understand? We also exploit that. And the next thing is to just explain. We try to check how you can deploy. You understand? You have written your code, everything work as expected. What next? Ask yourself, what next? I want people to see my product. So how can we deploy? We try to check that, exploit that. Deployment is very important so that we can deploy with other people. And another point that I also want us to discuss about publishing your product. You understand? You have the APK with you. So what next? We need to publish our product on Google Play Store, Apple Store, so that people can download. So it's very important. So you also exploit that, publishing your app on Play Store or Apple Store. That is all. Wow. Any question?